Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. West side, raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. 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 Hey loves, hey loves, hey loves, hey loves. That's the new sound of October's episode. Okay, hi guys, my name is Wyann, also known as Y, and this is the 10th episode of Raise It Up Y, the podcast. We are coming to you the last Thursday in October 2019, also known as Shalloween. It's Halloween, but don't worry about it. But yeah, and today I have to say is going to be a little different than usual. One, we have professional river dancers upstairs from our studio, so if you guys happen to hear them creak or anything, just kind of like get crunk with them, like, hey, yay, yay, yay. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'll be doing. That's number one. Number two, today is going to be a simulated experience like we usually do at 1500 Sound Academy, where I do a series there called Sound Creators. And I wanted to give you all a taste of it. One, kind of for some selfish self-promoting, why not? Two, to get you all accustomed to what kinds of things we do at the school, while my class is probably the least musical, wouldn't you say? My class is like the least like directly musical of all of the coursework that we teach up there. And today will be a complete example of that, because I look to connect the artist to everything else that's in the music, the industry, the sound, the performance, the all of it sort of a thing. That's what my series there tends to do. So today is going to be the emotional edition of my series called Sound Creators. Again, this is just giving you a preview of what will happen when I actually do it there. So I'm giving you an abridged version, maybe a less intense version, especially because I can't interact with you guys physically right now, which I do a lot of interactive teaching when I'm in a classroom. So you guys got that going for yourselves. And pretty special announcement I want to make right here, right clear, right in the front of things. The YNEP. The YNEP. It's coming. Literally 2 months from now. Well, in the last month of the year. 12/13, you guys know I have a hard on for 13. So this is going to be the last 13 of 2019. Wyann, the EP, shall be out. And of the segments that you have today, which is kind of going to be Raise 'em Up, which is going to be most of just me giving you the information that I would give you if you were in my class, as well as a hashtag Hi Y. I'm also going to give you a douxadiddy, which is going to be the first single, if you will, from the EP. I feel very excited about that, guys. I feel like I'm stepping out of my comfort zone in 2019. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've got colors on my nails that I've never gotten before, okay? It's a vibe. Yeah, blue for those who can't see. Fnip. No, it's just because I wanted blue. Also, though, guys, I want to say thank you so much for rocking with us for 10 episodes right here in the front. Before I continue, I want to thank everybody listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you choose to listen. I want to thank all of you who are the reasons I do my makeup so prettily on YouTube. And I thank you guys for rocking with me, rocking with us, my whole team, for all this time. And we've been having fun, and we love every part of it. We can't wait to keep having fun with you guys, spreading love and positivity, non-corny positivity at that, because we don't do sucker shit, and we don't like when the corny positivity comes out, because then it starts to become a gimmick. We are not a gimmick. Our whole platform is imperfect, and proudly so. So I just wanted to let you guys know, we look to raise your awareness, self-awareness that is, your vibrations, which is just you and everything else that's moving around in this earth, as well as your capacity for love, which is knowledge. That's what we do here. And another thing that we do here before we get directly in to the lesson that is today, I like to ground you all. And those of you who've been rocking with me for the last 9 episodes, you guys know I'm an MSW, a Master of Social Work from Long Beach State. Go Beach! You know how that goes. My assistant, it's a thing. So what grounding does from a therapeutic standpoint is it founds you. It puts you at your root chakra in a founding space. So it kind of makes a foundation for you wherever you are, if you're driving, if you're jogging, if you're walking, and if you're in bed, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Our grounding techniques, anytime that you hear them or are a part of them, only look to make sure that you are present in the moment, aware of your foundation, just you being you. In times past, I've also said that it separates you from whatever energy you were on, whatever tip you was on before this moment, all right? So grounding brings you into this moment right now. So if you so choose, I invite you to close your eyes if you can. If you are driving, this is the time to keep your eyes completely open, but just be aware of everything that you're doing. And I want you to take a moment to be here with me. Hear my voice. Feel your feet. Wiggle your toes. Touch your nose. And just recognize that you're here. Breathe a breath in, blow a breath out. Again, do that in through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to take a moment to own this real miracle called life, that you are breathing and winning just by choosing every day to live this life. Just by spending this time with my voice right now, you're investing in your betterment. I want you to sit with that and feel proud. And welcome. Welcome to this world. Let's go up. Let's go all the way up. So, as we talked about, ladies and gents, today is all about the emotional. It's the emotional connection of you to anything that you do as you create. Sound creators is a play on the word sound there, because I'm not just looking for what sound, what noise comes out of you. What do you produce? Rather, I'm also assessing in my series Sound Creators at 1500 Sound Academy, I'm also assessing, are you aligned, body, mind, spirit, emotion? Are you aligned within yourself in order to produce the sounds that you produce? I need you guys to know a couple things. One, everything living vibrates. Sound, color, rice, animals, our hair, follicles, and things of that nature. Everything vibrates, all right? It's easier to determine in music, much because if you record in things like, especially like Pro Tools and stuff like that, as you're recording sound into these platforms, you can literally see the waves of what the vibration looks like. I live in Cali. I think you guys know that we always come from sunny West Coast, warm, beautiful, 80-degree, usually West Coast type weather. You feel me? All right. So when you're out here, another thing that happens is these wonderful things called earthquakes. So they have a what do you call it, Dave? Is it a seismophone? What do you call the thing?
Seismograph.
Yeah, I'll take that. So I like seismophone personally, but it's I guess what they actually call it is a seismograph. Seismograph. And this thing, when we have our earthquakes, it literally shows you how the earth is making this almost weightless kind of needle it makes it like a line on like a blank sheet of paper sort of a thing. And you can see how crazy the plate tectonics and now it got deep. Don't worry about that part. But the thing is, this motherfucker shakes. And when we shake, we have things that show you how we shake. The same way when you put a bass line on a song. Ooh, I just thought about Kendrick. I got a bone to pick. Boom, 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 boom. I don't want you to be my motherfucker sitting in my throne to get. I nigga, what's up? Yeah, I love that. Anyways, I don't know, is that Thundercat on that bass line? Bass line.
I don't think so.
I've created a lisp now. Don't worry about it. But so, yeah, if it's not Thundercat, it's somebody else fly that Terrace and Kendrick picked out to make that thing really work. But bitch, where are you when I was fucking... Now that song is in my... Anyways, guys. Yeah, a bass line, and bass happens to be my favorite sound. I'm also like a bass/baritone in the morning when I wake up. So don't worry about none of that. I'm real sexy. Anyways, so when you have that sort of a wave, it's huge and it's lightweight, slow. Different from if you hear, I don't know, if you hear something like a whistle tone when a singer goes like Mariah Carey, no, whatever, all that. These things are like so small as they go up. The point being, guys, when I say I raise your vibration, I'm not just talking from a hokey pokey standpoint or a corny one. When I say that everything in this life has a vibration, and you guys being here with me and during this podcast, I make you laugh on purpose. I give you deep information, but I do it in a cool way, hopefully, so that you don't realize that you're just getting dope information the easiest way possible, and you really get that from today's words of wisdom. But I wanted to say, outside of everything is a vibration. When you listen to music, those vibrations coagulate, intermingle, and relate to listeners, whoever that listener might be. So the vibration of wherever you are and the vibration of the music that you choose to listen to, they always connect. They always intermingle, like I say. Now, what determines whether you listen to Kendrick Lamar more than Guns N' Roses, let's say, is whatever your personal vibration is, as well as what the creator of the music's vibration is. So let me give you just a sentence to kind of take home with this. Emotions in music are the glue. Emotions in music are the glue. Notice, you'll hear me, I just used right now 2 artists, Kendrick Lamar and Guns N' Roses, right? Let me switch from Guns N' Roses. I don't know a Guns N' Roses song. I don't think I do.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome. Oh, is that them? Welcome to the jungle. That shit is fly. So, okay, watch this. So, while I don't listen to a lot of Guns N' Roses and I don't know a lot of their music, as Dave just said the name of one of their songs, when I'm on my... like, let's turn up, like, go crazy, like, rock out with my cock out type thing, if I had a cock. But when I go and want to, like, really turn up, that Guns N' Roses song goes with me. But look at what I just preceded all that with. When I want to turn up. Are you even seeing if you're on YouTube, you'll even see that when you describe certain music or certain situations, your behavior doesn't know how to lie right along with it. So I'm talking about an intense, very... powerful, fast-paced, driving type of song like Welcome to the Jungle. I'm totally into that. Now, different from that, on Watch the Throne, Jay-Z and Kanye had a song, and it was "Welcome to the Jungle." Welcome to, and it was like a Swiss Beats song, if I'm not mistaken. So that doesn't make me necessarily want to get as hyped and big as the rock song, but it might be the swaggier version of when I'm feeling like that. Like, oh, okay, all right, here that goes. If I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar, depending on what song it is, I can listen to it on the same day as Welcome to the Jungle. If I feel like being completely hyped up, a Kendrick Lamar song that I would get hyped up to, all's my life I has to fight, nigga. Yeah, if it was something like that, that's like a anthem to me for some reason. I look at that like, right? Hey, wait, look, you couldn't even... I love the fact that music is, man, music is one of those universal languages. You guys have... Chris Cadenhead, who is behind this camera right here, just came back from Europe doing a show with a particular act. And everywhere that he went in Europe, it's not known that everybody spoke English. We don't know. If you're in France, people are speaking French. If you're in Germany, people are speaking German. You're not necessarily knowing that everybody completely speaks English. But the way that music does, and the way that, not just what it does, the way it makes you freaking feel. There are certain songs you're going to learn all of the words to, whether you speak the language or not. I think Chris and I were in Dominican Republic last year, and a Drake song that's not really big in the States was playing out there. Got everything, I got everything. I got nothing I will want. Whatever it was. But the thing was, everybody was speaking Spanish at this club. When that came on, it was like, I touched down in 86, knew I was a man by the age of 6. I used to fuck the girl that used to babysit. I was like, we were talking outside. We were trying to piece words together. And this song comes on. They're rapping all the words right alongside me. I was like, wow, music. And not just music in and of itself, but the way it makes you feel. That's the glue, all right? Some of you guys know, like I said, MSW, Master of Social Work. My thesis was on rap music and Black adolescent identity formation. When I was researching music in general and why people listen to the music that they listen to, there were various theories on, what a listener chose to listen to and for the reasons they chose to listen to that. But one of the most resounding, I can say, correlations, a finding that happened in several of the scholarly journals that I was looking into for my thesis, was the fact that people listen to music that already affirms what they want to feel or how they're already feeling. So it's either what I want to feel or how I'm currently feeling. Okay? So I'm giving you guys this before I turn right into, some of the stuff that I have here for you, so that everybody recognizes that the main purpose for looking at and studying the emotional side of not just a creator, but also a creator and what they create, that relationship, it is all about connection. It is 1000% always and all about connection. And I'll say that emotion in general within music is the leading factor that connects all these people from all sorts of different backgrounds all across the board in order to consume a certain type of music. Hip hop all the way to jazz, all the way to, and jazz is the first Black American art form, get it right first off, but then also it is the first American jazz form, that's recognized at least. I think Negro spiritual should actually be it, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah. The first one that's actually recognized is jazz. And now that is a worldwide genre of music with no lyrics, by the way. So that's what I'm trying to say. Words can't be the reason people connect to music, because classical music and jazz wouldn't even be a viable genre of music if that were the case. And we're gonna play a good game. You want to do it? Can I do it? Okay, so we're gonna play not a game, but I wanted to provide you guys. I went on my live, you guys know, at Wyanna, WYANNA is my personal page on Instagram, and on every 13th of the month, I do a live discussion. Yesterday, people wanted to know how harmony played into the emotional aspect of music. So to honor the question that, I didn't even write the dude's name down. My bad, man. But you know who you are if you asked for this, because this is why I'm doing this part. I wanted to look at some words, not even just feelings, but words. And I'll tell you, we have a amazing crew of people who work on this show. I think you guys know. One of them is Chris Cadenhead. He is my creative partner in everything that I do, including obviously this. But in the music world, he is an amazing jazz pianist, but not just jazz. Pretty much anything you put in front of this dude, he's going to do, including sweet potato pie.
Come on.
Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't know if he wanted to shout himself out or how that was going to go, but I'm not going to talk about a sweet potato pie. See, another feeling. No, it's...
What?
His sweet potato pie is life-changing. It's game-changing. And I've had people try to refute this, and then they tasted it, and they was like, oh, my bad. I think that's how him and Robert Glasper started the depth of their relationship. So let's not get it twisted. You never know. Oh, this is also to you, whoever you might be, especially my students at Ujima PCC. You never know what's going to get you in the door with an individual. You really never know. So some people don't like to go to school or college because they think it's keeping them away from the music industry or away from their dreams. If you guys recognize, if you guys knew how many conversations, if we had a networking event at a mansion party somewhere that was outside at night, and I started telling people about which specks in the sky were planets versus which ones were stars. And people were like, you're bullshitting. How do you even know that? I'm like, my honors astronomy class in college. I can tell you this with viability. That is this, blah, blah, blah. And we'll go Google. What do they have now? It's like Google World. It's not even Google Map. And you can start to see Google Earth. And you can see the constellations and everything. I'll tell them. They're like, whoa, you're like a warlock. I'm like, no, I took a class and I know the sky. So anyways, you just never know what's going to be the thing that puts you in the door. I hope that your good energy and personality keeps you in the door, but you never know what puts you in that door. That's for any young artist, actually any person. You just really never know why God or why life or why positivity, why the universe has you wherever you're looking to be. So don't discredit or discount anything you're going through. It's all happening for a dope ass reason. Don't doubt the process. Okay? So I'm going to put just a couple words in the atmosphere, and what Chris Cadenhead is going to do is play chords that correlate, and this is his best guess at it, you know what I'm saying? He's a creator as well. Everything that we're about to do is just interpretation, but I'm just starting to get you guys into the harmonics of feeling with music. So there are such thing as happy chords. There are such thing as maybe like darker chords. And this is not even necessarily a feeling, but sometimes you hear somebody say, ooh, give me something churchy. This, I guess, would be an example of like church chords. And my favorite, probably what he does for my music style mostly, I think of like swanky, like sexy chords, sexy harmonies, you know, in music. I want him to give you an example, like some sexy stuff. What I want you all to understand is, regardless of if you felt the words that I said by what was played, what you cannot refute is the fact that every time Chris played something, it was different from the time he played something before. What I mean to say is a mixture of sounds is used and is being used to interpret something that you really can't. in the world of therapy, we always say never to compare people's sadness and never compare people's atrocities. The analogous statement being trying to compare people's sadness is like trying to measure the wetness in water between Avion and Arrowhead. Water is water, right? Sadness is sadness. Elation is elation. Sexy is sexy. What I find sexy and what you find sexy might not be the same thing, but I can damn sure guarantee that what we find sexy and what we find egregious won't be the same things. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of this in the world of music is up to interpretation, but that's what makes it beautiful. Colors in life are emotions to me. I'd like to, there are some, I taught math and you guys will learn that more in my Wyann's Words of Wisdom today, but there's a lot of black and white in math. And in music, there's a lot of black and white. You're in this key, you're out of this key. You're flat for this key, you're sharp for this key. Those are hard lefts, hard rights. Those are blacks and whites within music. But interpreting what something feels like, again, that's up to you as the creator. And right now I'm talking about a lot of output. Just a moment, I'm going to talk about what you are feeling in yourself and how that affects what your output is. So I'm just kind of focused on the output right now. But what I want to give you is a few feeling words. And we did this exercise, all of us as a crew here right before we kind of came on with you all. But what I would love for you all to do is press pause. If you're in a capacity to do so, press pause, take 1 minute, literally stop, watch yourself, 60 seconds, write down as many feelings that you can, as many feeling words as possible. And if you're confused, feelings are adjectives, one word describers, okay? Descriptive pieces of human language that kind of, like I said, they give color. All this came from the fact that I said that adjectives, rather, feelings give color to life. You can say the dog ran. That's a sentence. But if you say the lazy dog ran slightly quickly, really? The lazy dog ran quickly. Like, why would a lazy dog run quickly though? Anyways, the thing is, the lazy and the quickly are the descriptors to that particular sentence. So it gives you some idea. It even gives a confusing idea, like, how does something lazy run fast? Like that? Anyways, don't worry about it. Sorry, YouTubers. I hope I stalled enough time for you to get a pen and a pad so that you guys can press pause right now and try to come up with as many feeling words as possible in the next 60 seconds. Time yourself, go. I feel like you didn't do it, but I'm not even going to hold you. Don't worry about it, because especially if you're driving, y'all just keep rolling with me. Here's what we came up with as a collective, just right here for the Raise It Up Y crew. Feeling words were love, rage, heartbreak, disappointment, incredulous, envious, jealous, satisfied, shy, fearful, infatuated, attractive, excited, cheerful. Fearful? Cheerful. Oh, okay. They're homonyms. My bad. I'm a rapper. You gotta let me. No, listen. Pretty, ugly, dark, smart, intelligent, cool, embarrassed, mortified, helpful, longing, inspired, lonely, determined, funny, humorous, swaggy, triumphant. These are just a couple adjectives, a couple of feeling words that came up while we all were here together. And truly, if you do this in a group, it's a fun exercise personally, because you can kind of see where others more commonly think and feel. I also want to say, though, that there are what I call 7-year-old feelings. And I want you guys to steer, especially if you're creating music, I want you to steer away from only feeling these. They all rhyme, so you should be pretty good at this. Sad, mad, glad, bad. I call that the 7-year-old feelings, because about second grade, this is what we all kind of. Today I was sad. I got on the sad face. I was glad. I was mad. Oh, mom, I wasn't good tonight. I was bad. I just try to make sure that they all rhyme so you guys can memorize them even better. However, notice there's not a lot of description in sad, glad, bad, mad. Maybe in sad. No, don't do sad, mad, glad, bad. Do some more. Do some more. And I say do some more because when you play around with the depths of emotion, I think you get more colorful content. You more accurately reflect the human experience. And I think that all the music that we create is kind of like scoring a movie. It's being able to connect with people across the board. If you're a very happy person, challenge yourself writing a dark song, a sad song. While To Pimp a Butterfly is my favorite project of Kendrick Lamar's, the song You, the loving you is complicated, loving you is complicated. That song is too dark for me. It's too dark. I skip it every time. If I could have bought it without that song, I would have still paid full price, but I just would have skipped that particular song. It's just hella dark, and I'm too happy. I understand it. I think it's a brilliant song, and most, especially some guys I know, they were like, I literally knew he was a genius by the time I got to that one. Like, that's the song I go to first. I'm like, gee whiz, that shit is deep. And it's too deep for me. When I listen to Kendrick, I don't listen to him to feel sad or to feel destitute or deep in, like, that's too deep. Shit, no. But no 7-year-old emotion. Sad, bad, glad, mad. Find new emotions. Males have, I'll say men feelings. I want you also to steer beyond those. Men feelings are hungry, horny, angry, horny, powerful, angry, horny. No, that's my joke, guys. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, if you guys felt offended, don't worry about it. But at the same time, I do want you to explore feeling past the physiological feelings like sleepy, tired, hungry, things like that. Like, not to say that you can't create from those, but I don't know if you want to make a career out of that content, which is why certain artists, when all they sing about or rap about is sex or the act of having sex and sex, it's like, you're going to be 58 one day, right? Like, I hope that 6-pack carries, to whoever you are. I know certain artists who are grandmothers now, and now you're still having to sing about fellatio. That's deep. Yeah, I'm cool. That's not me personally. There's no knock to whatever somebody else does, because sex has sold way before music was the reason. All right, the first profession on record was a working woman, aka a brothel. So let's never forget that, it started before Jesus, kids. So if you want to look at sex and pimp sex out to make a career out of it, that's you. That's not what I would choose for your emotional development side of becoming the artist that you think you want to be. That's just me personally. I wanted to give you all also some examples of songs for feelings that we commonly experience, just so that you can take this and when you're listening to the radio or when you're, cleaning up on a Saturday, whatever it might be, you can hear this and start to engage think of the type of feeling that becomes engaged as you feel it. I'm also lightweight giving you guys physical representation and examples of these feelings because the era we're in today says things like, that made me feel some kind of way, or rather, made me feel some type of way. I felt some type of way, or you got me in my feelings, girl. What does that mean? Man, because you got me in my feelings. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so but what is that? That's like eating rice cakes. Yeah, I got something in my stomach, but what did I just eat? Like, what was that? Like, what was the point of that? Sort of a thing. It's like empty calories. When we say things like, it made me feel some type of way, let's just say, or I'm in my feelings, or I feel some type of something, without these descriptors that we're talking about, these one word adjectives called feelings, without this, the music is lackluster. It lacks depth, and it's for the moment music. And for the moment music is cool, especially if you are a type of artist that says, you know what, I'm just looking to make a quick M while I'm 22. That's nice, but $1 million at 22 does not carry over till you 42. That 2 decades will be destitute for you, huh? So just giving you guys that to say, I want you to have these types of examples for yourselves as you continue to go listening and having a ball listening. Happy songs. We all, as a group, kind of went through this. Happy songs include stuff like outstanding. Even the Joe Budden podcast, they play outstanding anytime they get too deep, because it's just one of those, it just raises your vibration. You just, a very obvious example, but effective nonetheless. Cause I'm happy. It just makes you want to move. It's a little contrived, but it's not too deep. It's just, hey, we can boogie down, get down the bump. We can. Shouts out to Dad and Mom. But boom, boom. When you hear Let's Groove, I'm sorry. There's just wanna tell you what you can do. Oh, the guys didn't know. I might as well give you guys this story just so it feels good. Act like you heard it for the first time when I have my dad on, though, so he doesn't feel like I stole his thunder. My parents recorded that song, the demo for it, at the house that I currently live in over in the hood, a.k.a. South LA. And so we're not too far from LAX, about 15 minutes. And whenever they would record, they were reel-to-reel analog setup. Whenever they would record, the planes going overhead would, like, it would cause crunchiness in the signal and it wouldn't sound right. And every time the planes were going overhead, they'd have to stop and do it again. It's very, very tedious to people who don't know the recording process. So Mom, out of sarcastic frustration and Mom was like a 747. It was a joke, and it's probably one of the most memorable lines now that they got. So I just wanted to give you guys that. But that's a happy song. Let's groove. Hey, yay. Isn't she lovely? That's also happy songs. These are all happy songs, right? Boom, 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 boom. To bring the beat in. That's a happy song. You got to think about it. This is the song that Beyonce revealed to the world she was having her first child. That's Love on Top, by the way, if you didn't know that. But, and Isn't She Lovely was by Earth, Wind, guys. Isn't She Lovely was by Stevie Wonder. Let's Groove was by Earth, Wind, and Fire, written by my mom and dad. My dad mostly, but my mom too. She gets her little line in there. Happy was by Pharrell, and Outstanding was by the Gap Band. I'm giving you guys these so you can go back and listen to them yourselves. See if you get happy listening to these songs. But yeah, just thinking about the fact that she revealed something for the first time of her life. She's becoming a mother. Like, that type of moment for her, what that must have been like, that's a crazy connection. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy connection. I think that's beautiful. And that's what I associate with happy. Sad, we had After the Love Is Gone. Because it doesn't have to be a slow song. Just listen to the harmonics of it and everything. Can love that's lost be found? Oh, after the love. It's a good song. It's a good song, but it's like one of those things like, what do you do after the love is gone? Let me ponder the ways. Earth, Wind, and Fire, that's who that's by. Yesterday. I know I'm doing the Boys to Men version, but all my troubles seem so far away. The Beatles, Yesterday, I was telling Chris Cadenhead and Dave Four and Onet Zellicke that they used to play that when, like, you played, like, the slideshow at, like, the 8th grade graduation, and we all cried, like, fucking... Anyways, whatever. All alone, The Stay song has a sad vibe to it. Ooh, have I ever got... No. Do I ever cross your mind? Anytime. Yeah, you can hear it, huh? Yeah. Brian McKnight, song called Anytime. These are sad songs, man. Sad songs. Angry songs, one of my favorite. Alanis Morissette. Yeah. I don't know. This woman says, and every time I scratch my nails down someone else's back, I hope you feel it. I'm like, yeah, that's a line right there. It's a cross that I bear, and, till you die. You said I would bear this cross till you die, but hold up, you still alive. So why? Why ain't we together? Yes. Break up and beat his ass, Alanis. I bust the windows out your car. Still it did. That's by Jasmine Sullivan. Bust the windows out your car. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Oh, that is NWA. These are like angry, high intensity types of songs, just depending on where you are in a breakup, what do you feel or whatever. I wrote this one and I moved my mom's song down there. Love category. But the best of my love. Whoa. That's a love. You guys have another love, a love one? Oh, the Love and Happiness. What is that? So in love with... Let's stay together. That's a good one too. That's a good one too for love. For love there. Any other ones that you guys can think for love? A love type song? And you guys,
So
as you...
many things I gotta tell you, but
Oh
I'm
my
afraid
God.
I don't know.
Hey, where would you guys put... Oh, Jesus Christ. Where would you put...
You're my angel.
Shut up.
You're my angel. Nothing... I do like that song. That is a love song and classic 90s.
Thank you.
Yes. No, but guys, what I was gonna say was, would you guys put bing 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 girl, I'm in love with you. Where would you put Ordinary People by John Legend? That's not love, is it? Or is it? I don't know. Do you
Yeah,
You feel more
I would say
love?
so, yeah.
Cause Go to the Bridge.
I mean, it's a
Take
request,
it
really.
slow, baby, we live and learn. Maybe we'll crash and burn. Maybe it's...
Yeah, but
Cause
that's what love is, though.
see, I think that's why
Yeah,
I'm
well,
thinking
I
that.
guess, yeah.
It's not just the happy side of love.
No.
It's like this is everything that we could do. We might hate each other tomorrow, but if we're in this is still a part of this sort of a thing. So I would still put that under love, right? I didn't write it, but I put it under love.
Yeah.
I put it under love. Okay. So, Ordinary People by John. If I call this man John Lennon in my head one more time, his name is John Legend, kiddos. So let's never get that. That's a dicey miss. Anyways. So that was my Raise Them Up portion, which what I wanted to make sure I conveyed to you all was, one, the connection between the listener and music. That word connection. Feelings are the glue to the listener and music. That's one of the points I wanted to convey. Feelings are the glue to the listener and the music. Not necessarily an artist always, but the different songs. I guess that really is advantageous for this playlist generation. The podcast/podcast. iPod, well, no, that's even passe now. You don't say iPod. There's no iPod. Right? It's the iPhone, no, only. So let me say the playlist. I'll call it a playlist generation, where you can connect to a slew of songs that aren't on the same album, but they all make you feel the same way, right? So I'm going to say that the feelings, again, are the glue between the listener and the music. The next thing I want you to do is be able to list the 7-year-old feelings so that you can avoid them. Do you guys remember what they are? The 7. Sad, mad, glad, bad. The 4, they all rhyme. Sad, mad, glad. We can also add stuff like good. How was your day? Good. Yeah, okay, no. Let's get past all that, all right? So we can get more in depth. And we also just gave examples for songs and feelings that we commonly experience: the happy, the sad, the anger, the love, sort of a thing. All of this is really dealing with the output. Talking briefly about the input of you, I had on my @Wyann personal page on Instagram, I had a 13 live discussion yesterday, and well, not yesterday, but whenever I did it. But the 13 live discussion went as so. I wanted to know what people wanted to discover about the creator as he or she creates music that's in a emotional construct. I wanted to know what people wanted to know emotionally, where you need to be, what you should consider in order to put out the type of product that you're looking for. And the types of questions I got, one of them was about the harmonies. How do harmonies help convey a point? That's why Chris Caden had played those pretty chords for us. Also, I think a good one of these, maybe for another episode, we'll talk to my mom and her sisters, the emotions, about how my grandfather kind of constructed their harmonies to convey different stuff. Ooh, and if you want another story, just to give you some story behind the music in case you guys already know it, my mom and them have a song called Blessed. It was on their Rejoice album. The artist is The Emotions. And in the front of it, you hear a little bit of music and you hear just all these kind of ad libs. Yeah, yeah. And then Auntie Sheila, yeah. Whoever. They're all doing that. My grandfather's vocal direction for that particular song was, I want this to sound like when you're walking into an emergency room, give me the sounds of everybody and their reasons for being in there. That was my grandfather's vocal production note to my mom and her sisters, my aunts, for all of the little melismas. So now go back and listen to the front of that song, and you can hear the grieving mother. You can hear the concerned spouse. You can hear this person that just got told that, their person passed away. Like that was like auntie, like crying for the person that would be crying. Like, niggas, my mom and them is bad. Let me first say that on this episode about the emotional piece of sound creation, whatever was in my grandfather's water, man, listen, he raised my mom and her sisters to sing from the time they were 3, 4, and 5. My mom was the 4-year-old. And I can very well say that when you've been doing music for that long, rarely do you do things by accident. You do things because it's muscle memory. Chris, have you ever had a problem playing or finding middle C? You can almost just do it like this now. Even if you weren't looking, you could do it off sound, couldn't you? When you swear, yeah. When you've been doing something for so long, this music stuff, it's in you, man. It's in your bones. You create because you create. I asked Dre the first time, Dr. Dre, when we were first recording the pilot episode for The Pharmacy by Dr. Dre on Apple Music. This was in April of 2015. I asked him, yo, if you weren't doing music, like if you weren't as successful as you were in music, do you think you would still create? He's like, creators don't know anything else. Why? He said, if I was a plumber, I would work my 9 to 5, rack up all my money, go home, get dressed, go to the mall, buy anything I needed for a studio, and I would still create. I don't do this shit just because I'm Dr. Dre and I got this amount of success. Like, I'm going to create because I create. It is not, I can't help this. It's what we do, sort of a thing. And I think that music running through people's veins is the same exact way. So my question becomes, I spent a lot of time talking about the output of what comes out of the creator, the sound that you emit. But about this sound, body, mind, spirit, and emotion and the feeling, I want to pose questions to the creators out there. How in touch are you with whom and where you are before you begin touching your music? We started this by saying all of this life, music included, is just vibration. And what you can learn from any science class is that vibration and energy that is vibration, it cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. It can merely be transferred. So if you're transferring only whatever is in you, because I can't transfer what's in Dave right now. Only Dave can transfer whatever is in him right now. And so I'm only transferring to you guys the Wyann that I am. I got a good night's sleep. I made sure I ate with my team. We had awesome laughter and talk and discussion. And that's the kind of energy that they fill me with and that I fill myself with before I convey any of this information to you. If I was feeling under and we just had to tape on today, I would definitely let y'all know, like, hey, my bad, here's where I am today, but we got to get this off, and I definitely want you to have this information. But it wouldn't come off as joyous, as, I don't know, laughter-filled and inspired as it is right now. We cannot fake our emotion. We cannot fake our behavior. Literally, it is what it is. And a little word to Abraham Hicks about emotion. Everything that you get in this life starts with your emotion. It's almost like fight or flight. When you see someone and encounter them, even their page on Instagram or their website, a feeling is evoked. It's there. If you're not aware of it, then maybe spend some time and stay there. If you are aware of it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you understand the type of emotion that you, and really I'll call it your vibe, that's why I talk about vibe so much. When you understand what you're kicking out, you'll start to understand why individuals take you in a certain way. All right? Abraham Hicks talks about the fact that when you have your countenance out in the world, when you've decided what vibration you think you want to see on some law of attraction type shit, physics and different stuff like that. But when you decide who you are and what you want to see, the evidence of how that's going for you will appear first in emotion and second in the type of experiences you have in life. All right? So you've left the house. This is going to be a good day, happy day, a good day, a happy day. And you go outside and you happen to notice, wow, I've never heard that bird chirp. But wow, this breeze feels amazing. Oh, I dressed just right for this particular day. Wow, there's no traffic at 5 p.m. on a Friday in Los Angeles on the 110. This is crazy. That would be, yeah, I know. Yeah, I just got magical. Sorry, that was magical thinking, my bad. But yeah, it got way too good. But when you start to notice how you feel first and then what's happening in your life experience, those things are reflecting to you exactly where you're vibrating and exactly where you actually are in your feelings. So becoming more self-aware helps you recognize what's in you before you touch your music, before you're touching your guitar, before you start to engineer that session or be on that plane to go on tour with that artist, sort of a thing. Recognize who and where you are first. I'm not saying that that's a good or a bad thing. I'm saying it's like checking the temperature. It's just making sure that you know who and where you are. I think it's important in the music industry to walk in a room and walk out this room that same way. That's really important, to walk in the room and walk out the room the same way, the same way or elevated. The same way or elevated. If something is enlightening or more peaceful and it raises your vibration, I'm with that. But I don't want you to walk into a room and when I say a room, I'm talking about a studio where there are influential people and or a show and you're backstage and there's all these influencers back there, and the next thing you know, you're not really a drinker and a smoker, but it's getting passed around and you're one of the cool kids, aren't you? If you walked in there sober, leave sober. If that's what you choose to be on. If you walk in there and say, you know what, I've been on a diet. I need to make sure that I'm being better to my body. I've been, not liking the way I feel in my body. If you say I don't want to eat past 10 p.m. and it's 11:05 and they're offering you food after food after food, take the water. Take the water, not the wine. Well, I don't know, fuck it. If you want wine, whatever. But I'm just saying, walk in the same motherfucker that you're going to leave as. That's just some free advice. That's not even the emotion side. That's just free advice. How does an artist connect to a song? One of the questions from yesterday. Via emotion. And that's everything that we just covered. How do harmonies help convey a point? Chris Caden held Chris Cadenhead helped us. Chris Cadenhead.
It didn't help.
Chris Cadenhead helped us with that in his demonstrations. Also, when we talked about the song titles and the feelings that they conveyed, I think that should probably help you with that. If you're still, kind of fuzzy on that, hit at Raise It Up Y, DM us, and we'll give you more examples of this, or we can do this on another day. Or you guys, if you're in LA, can actually come to 1500 Sound Academy when I'm doing this class. Again, this class is just a prequel. This broadcast here is just a prequel to what we're going to do when we do our class. Someone asked, what is real music?
How much time you have?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how much time we got already, but I feel like real music is subjective, and you
Right.
have to define that for yourself. Is that okay? Because we talked about this yesterday, and someone said it's original, all original, as in no sampling. And then another person who was a producer said, but sampling is an art form itself. I'm like, Ninth Wonder? Hello. It is an art form. Sampling is not taking somebody's whole song also. That's why I'm saying it's an art form sort of a thing. So real music, again, has to be defined by you. What would you call the difference between Marvin Gaye and Lil Fill in the blank? Time and experience. That's what I would call the difference. How much of your emotions go into music? Chris, how much of your emotions go into music?
100%.
100, right? I'm like, I think does the emotion start it for you? The creative process, would you say?
Not always, but most
It
of the
doesn't
time,
always.
Yeah, most of the time.
It doesn't always.
No, because sometimes I just want to create something. I just have no clue what, so I'll just start tinkering around and find something that inspires me, and then I'll go from there.
Got it. So
it'll invoke a feeling.
curiosity. I heard curiosity. I heard intrigue. Discovery, willingness to explore, desire. You wanted to be led by the moment, and you kind of just all balls to the wall went for it, sort of a thing. Whatever. It doesn't have to be, though, like, I'm feeling somber. Now here's my somber song. It does not have to be that.
It doesn't have to be. It can.
It can be, though.
And oftentimes it is.
It's a lot of discovery, though.
Yeah. If you act in that moment on that feeling, then naturally you're gonna get something that
Yeah.
But when you start to create something, it doesn't always come from you just feel like creating something, but you ain't feeling no type of particular way, or
Absolutely.
any sort of extreme to dictate a love song or a sad song. It's not that deep all the time. You just want to make something.
Funnily, the next question on there was, do real emotions in music sell anymore? Dave, what would you say?
It used to. I don't know that it does anymore.
Yeah, I don't know that it has to. That's like the DJ Pooh answer from the Hip Hop Forum. Do you have to be a sound creator to get money in today's market? Not necessarily. But longevity and even the top paid artists of today, I think they all have that in common. That there's a connection between them and their music. It's not superficial. It doesn't feel inauthentic. That's what I will say to you, Super. This was a super question. Juman, like human with a J, says, what's a good songwriting approach? Build your vocabulary, Juman. Build your vocabulary. Take creative writing classes. Free write every morning for at least 5 minutes. And when I say free write, I mean literally put your pen to your pad and whatever comes out, comes out. If it's a poem, if it's just you talking about how you feel in the moment, talking about the dream you just had, anything in the world, get used to the feeling of your pen rolling and displaying ink on a piece of paper. Not just Twitter fingers. I'm saying stuff that's just for you. Start writing more for yourself, not with the intent for other people to see it. I think Chris started doing that, and I think it's enhanced even the stuff he does. Yeah. Yeah. You can pay a therapist $80 for a 50-minute hour to tell you the same thing. Mind you, I'm a trained therapist. But yeah, I'm just saying, woo. Have you ever had an experience where you knew you would turn that experience into a song? I've definitely had that with a poem, for sure. And I turned it into a poem, a life experience into a poem? Oh, yes, I have, with a song. Life is again, I think all this is about connection. So if life gives you the raw material, don't feel afraid to create out of it. Like, it's all the clay. Make it your bitch. Like, fucking, yeah, do that shit. West, as a songwriter, do you write from the emotion perspective of the artist or yourself? As a songwriter, do you write from the emotional perspective of yourself? Or, and I think they meant the, oh, the artist. Like, if you're writing for somebody, that just revolution. Okay, hold up. 2 seconds, West. Now I'm going to give you a different answer. As a songwriter, do you write from the emotional perspective of Wyann, the songwriter, or the artist for whom I intend the song? I gotta say, I have way more experience writing for myself, not other artists. And the artists that I've written for, I wrote like I was just me. I just wrote like myself. And we just happened to coagulate, if you will. We happen to be on the same wavelength. And when I say I've only written for a few artists, I'm talking about like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Not that that's like little, but I'm just saying that song never came out, sort of a thing. Layla Hathaway, that was on Velvet Portraits 2016, Terrace Martin, song called Oakland. And we wrote that, me and Terrace wrote that for a totally different reason. We wrote that for a totally different reason, actually. And then for Faith Evans, but she never got the song. I wrote that when I was at Long Beach State the first time. So 2002. I wrote for her, but the song never made it to her. I still think she could rock that shit personally. Thumper, how do you feel after a big show? Exhausted. I feel, if I did it right, I feel spent. I feel like I did after that Sound Creators, the Mental Edition. Remember earlier this year? And I could barely, like, move. I gave everything I prepared and more to that class. And I couldn't even decide where we were going to eat. We were like, what do you want to eat? I'm like, I have no more words. That was all I kept saying. I said, I have no more words. I've said I'm smart as fuck, but I have nothing for you. I gave everything upstairs. I have no more words for anything. So I feel completely spent. If I did it right, let me tell it. My last question that I want to address comes from Boomer, friend of the show, big friend of the show. And it says, can you create freely without vulnerability? Is vulnerability a weakness? I want to hear Chris Cadenhead first.
That's a strength.
Complete strength. I wanted a man to answer first. That's why I wanted Chris Cadenhead to answer first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's looked at under the masculinity umbrella as a weakness.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why that's our first. But if you really think about it, it's an absolute strength.
Right. Right.
Because that's where our power to overcome shit comes from, is being vulnerable enough to, you know what I'm saying, to feel, you know, whatever, the deepest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Dave, I want to hear you weigh in on this as well.
I agree with Chris. I think the vulnerability puts you in a position where you can fully express everything that you're feeling,
right,
and just let it go.
Absolutely. Zelika, do you have anything for this one? What they said. Okay. I just didn't want to discount her. Boomer, I know that you know this, and I'm going to say it again for other listeners who may just be joining us. This platform started, talking about Raise It Up Why the podcast, started because young black men asked for it. A young black man in particular, who was featured on episode 9 and like 3, he asked for it not just for himself and his cohorts, the other people that were coming to school along with him. He asked for a place where, through a feminine perspective, we could talk about masculine shit unbridled. And it's always fun to use hip hop to do that, because that's a place where men of color, especially black and brown men, usually feel very, very comfortable, because it's created by them, it's for them originally, and I love that everybody else can gain from it. But make no mistake that the poor and disenfranchised black and brown man started hip hop that everybody now attempts to pimp. Don't get me started on that. I say that because there was a vulnerability in the quest from this young black man to me, even talking about, I think we need somewhere where we can just talk about these types of things. He's like, be honest with you, Miss Y, we don't really talk about relationships as young men, especially because he was a football player. So on this football team, there was a little bit of everything on there. But as young men, we don't really talk about relationships. We talk about fucking. We talk about if we happen to get a girl pregnant and then becoming a father. But we're not talking about relationships between 18 and 25 years old at these colleges. We're not talking about that. We're talking about getting it in. We're talking about this and that. And I got a whole bunch of homeboys that ain't going to come to college. They're not making it to college. They have given up on school. They didn't graduate. It does not mean that they don't want to hear this information. That is the literal reason for this podcast. Vulnerability started a podcast. Vulnerability started a genre of music that is now the biggest export of music from the U.S. to the world, called rap music and hip hop culture in and of itself. Vulnerability is like Chris Zellicka and Dave Forrest said, the most powerful and brave thing that any of us, our vulnerabilities, that any of us can embrace. And when we embrace it with harmonics and the correct chords, let's just say, also to go along with the melody choices that we make, shit, I think that that's an unstoppable recipe. I think that that's what makes songs last forever. And I think that vulnerability is a complete strength. Nowhere in God's life at all in the history of the universe is it a weakness. And if you want more information about it from a dope MSW, please look up Brene Brown. And she has a Netflix special now and different stuff like that. But she's an MSW whose life work is to study shame and vulnerability. And it's amazing. But can you create freely without vulnerability? I think you can create without vulnerability. I don't know that you can create freely without it, though. Because sometimes we work to feel cool. And cool is the one emotion that acts like a straitjacket to all the rest of our emotions. Let me say that again. Cool is an emotional straitjacket. And it literally squeezes the life out of emotions like, well, just vulnerability, feeling vulnerable. And what would you feel vulnerable about? Feeling weak, feeling fearful, feeling inadequate, feeling jealous, feeling envious. You know what I'm saying? Even in male culture, it's more acceptable to feel angry than it is to feel sad. I've seen a lot of dudes who've ended up in jail behind a broken heart, and they didn't know how to convey it or talk about it. And instead, they machismo, bossed up, so they thought, and got angry about something as a mask for their actual sadness, sort of a thing. So, again, what this podcast stands for, becoming more self-aware of where we are, what emotion we're feeling in a day. I think that's probably going to help you create some of the dopest content, some of the dopest music, timeless music that you'll ever discover from yourself. That's going to lead into a douxadiddy. I'm just going to introduce it now. We're going to play it. Chris, we're going to play it at the end, right? Yeah, we're going to play it at the end. But the douxadiddy that you're going to hear is definitely off of my Wyann EP that drops 12/13/19. It's going to drop Friday the 13th. Yes, Friday the 13th of December in this year, 2019. And it is a poem that I wrote to Maya Angelou upon learning of her going in 2014. Like, I literally was just out and about and learned that she was gone. And from me being, what do they call it? And have you heard this term, artivist? You're an artist and activist. So an artist who is also an activist, they call them an artivist. So I would say that Maya Angelou was an artivist. Like Nina Simone is definitely like an artivist. Bob Marley, you know what I'm trying to say? Certain individuals. So I was feeling like a deep hurt behind a woman I'd never met, sort of a thing. And Chris Cadenhead happened to send me a track, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do a poem to this track. And what is the final version of this particular poem and this performance, it is the first and only take I've ever done of it. I wasn't trying to get it right. I wasn't trying to make it sound away. I wrote something, I free wrote, and I immediately went to my mic. I laid it first, one shot, one kill. First time ever being at it. And if you can listen deeply, you'll even hear my dog in the background of it somewhere. I forgot where it is now, but I love it because it just captured the moment. There was only one. You can only react to something the first time once. So I'm not changing it for nothing. And Dave 4 is going to have to master all that fun shit.
We can't anyway.
No. Oh, no, we can't. I'm not even going to get into that. But those are all of the douxadiddy introduction right there. You guys have had all of your raise 'em up stuff, and you know what? I'm using all of those questions that we just answered as the high wise section. Yeah, we're gonna do that right there. And guys, I love you. You're amazing. We're about to rock out to some of my words of wisdom before I pay some dues. Give you some dates. Trying to think the date. 12/13 is going to be the date that I keep reminding you about. But outside of that, we're going to get into these Wyann's words of wisdom, and nearing the end of this, thank you guys for rocking with the God. No, I'm messing with you. So only connect. These are the words of my favorite English instructor, Miss Sajadieh. In her 11th grade advanced placement or AP class, we learned that information is damn near irrelevant if it doesn't connect with people. Instruction is almost futile or meaningless if it fails to relate to a learner in some way. So very quickly, I want to divert from English to my comfort zone, which is math. Some of my student listeners felt slighted by episode 9, where I shared lessons from my teaching career, but I failed to mention how I taught a particular math concept. I told them about this lesson, and they found it to be cool. So I'll share it with y'all, because there are life lessons to be gained out of it. So again, quickly, numbers, all right? Numbers fall into certain categories, and the overarching category for beginning algebra stuff is called real numbers. Most all of the numbers that we know are real numbers. So I'm going to give you these sets of numbers from smallest to largest that make up real numbers. It's called natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational/irrational numbers. All of those make up this thing called real numbers. The set that I'm interested in today is integers, represented by the letter J for some odd reason. But integers are defined as whole numbers and their opposites. So the best way to imagine them is to envision a number line, all the way from negative infinity, all the way up to -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, and then all of the natural or positive numbers, the counting numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to positive infinity. Did you guys die? Are you guys brain fucked right now yet or no? Have you guys tuned me out? Or are you still rocking with the God? Because buckle up. This shit gets real quick, and I'm not talking about real numbers. So using Miss Sajadieh's Only Connect model, I'd like to reintroduce you to math by saying, if you're good at math, you're good at relationships. Some of you are grimacing at your devices as you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, while others of you is looking at me crazy on YouTube, and I'm okay with all of that. But I said what I said. Ninth, turn me up so you can hear me in the back. That shouts out to Rhapsody. If you are good at math, then you are good at relationships. The converse is true as well. If you're bad at math, you're not as good at relationships as you think. I plan to prove this with integers, but first, let me give you some context. For lady learners, y'all all think y'all are good at relationships. I know. You want to think that. Y'all want to be in love and loved on like life and fairy tales taught us we ought to be loved on. And I like that. Even when chicks try to act hella cool on some we just bumping uglies type shit, eventually this woman generally starts to contemplate relationship with the guy if certain things are in place, like she finds him attractive, he has money, stuff like that. Men, you guys learn so long as the lesson affects your pockets. The relationship y'all care about most is the one that America taught y'all you were a man by, which is how much money you have, what can you afford to buy, do you have expensive things? And if a man got money in his pocket and more from that where he came from in the bank, he will walk around like he got a 12-inch penis. Swag on a billion, as the kids say. And he'll move like a boss. Sometimes the opposite is true, but that's also a different topic for a different day. So let's set some ground rules for this lesson right here. We got positives and negatives with numbers, just like we do with people. Wherever a number goes, it takes its sign with it, just like a person takes his or her energy. You can put a positive person anywhere, and they'll look for the positives. And you can put a negative person anywhere on earth, and they will find the negative. So it gives credence to the saying, the complainer will literally find flaws with paradise. Number 2, no line is a number line until a 0 is on it. Every number line needs its 0, so we know the neutral ground that separates negatives from positives. 0 is neither negative or positive. He's just 0. He works like a mirror. It also goes to show the lesson that the opposite of love isn't hate, because love is energy in a positive direction. Hate is energy in a negative direction. So they're more similar than they are different. The actual opposite of love would be apathy, to not have shit for shit. The opposite of positive numbers would look like it's negative, but it's kind of like 0. You just stop giving a whole fuck completely. All right? So, number 3. We know a number is negative or positive given the sign that it carries directly in front of it. Similarly, you can feel a negative person coming before he opens his mouth, or you could know that a person is positive just based on the way that he feels from when he greets you. Trust your gut. You again know someone's energy before they'll tell you who they are with their words. That's the 3rd lesson. Number 4, when you have the same signs, you have an addition problem or a positive solution on your hands. Adding and subtracting integers with the same sign is an addition problem always. Multiplying and dividing integers with the same sign always results in a positive situation. On the other hand, when signs don't match, you're either in a subtracting situation or a negative one. And I'll say that again. If there is a positive alongside a negative, you are either taking something away from somewhere or you are coming to a negative solution. I want to give you guys that because it's about to make sense with a whole lot of other stuff. And then just for math people who actually give it in, focusing on subtraction, the difference or the answer to a subtraction problem takes on the sign of the bigger number in terms of absolute value. I'm not going to go all the way into absolute value. Just dig with me for a second. We're going to study this concept looking at money, so the boys should be happy. Let's look at any positive integer as money in your hand or someone paying you, and negative integers like money that you're owed or you let someone borrow. This money is not in your hand. Guys, I have a positive 3 with a positive 4. What's the result?
7.
What kind of 7?
Positive.
Positive 7. I got a negative 3 with a negative 1. What's the result? Negative 4. I got a positive 1 with a negative 3. A positive 1 with a negative 3. Negative 2. I got a positive 3 with a negative 1. Positive 2. So I'm going to say those same ones, and I messed up on the first one because I said the result, which was 4. That's how we got the 7. So I'm going to say those things again, but I'm going to literally move the position of each of those things. So where we had a 3 plus 1 before, now I'm going to put positive 1 plus positive 3. It still gives us a positive 4. It doesn't matter that the 3 was positive in the front before and now it's in the back. Moving them around doesn't change that a positive 3 with a positive 1 gives us a positive 4. A negative 1 with a negative 3. Before it was negative 3 and negative 1. Oh my God. It does not matter the order. If somebody owed you $3, and then they borrowed $1 more from you. You say, all right, nigga, now you know you owe me $4 damn. Exactly, $4. If somebody owed you $3, but they paid you back $1, you say, oh, okay, so you still owe me $2 more. $2 more. It's a negative 2 because it's an owed 2. Your debt has now risen to negative 2 from negative 3. And if someone owed you $1, but they paid you 3, said, man, my bad, I took so long. They paid you $3. How much did you actually come up? $2. Because 1 was the dollar they owed you. And then you came up 2 fresh new dollars that you didn't have. So some of you guys that like to play with money, y'all got all of that. My point in telling you how those moved around, talking about who owed money versus who paid money, is no matter where the negatives or the positives are, if the signs match, things are growing. Like somebody owed me $3 and now they borrowed 1 more. Their debt grew by $1. You see what I'm saying? Negative 3 and negative 1 gives me negative 4. Your debt grew. If the signs don't match, things are diminishing. Now listen at that. The signs being different means that there is something subtracting from it. All right? In terms of love and relationships, while opposites may attract, similarities keep people together. There's longevity in being evenly yoked. Like, if I have negative $3 worth debt and my boyfriend has negative $1, you know what? We both owe people. And it's just negative 1 and negative 3. Collectively as a couple, we owe the government, let's just say, student loan people. Hello, I'm waving to you. We owe negative 4 now. Much different than if I owe negative, if I owe $3 and somebody ends up owing $3 million. That don't feel evenly yoked no more. Yeah, we all owe shit, but geez, you understand. So the disparity, I want you guys to notice when these disparities happen in your life, because when energies don't match, someone is bringing the value in the relationship down. The value of the complete relationship is going down. Let me speak specifically to the ladies just for a second. Stop getting in relationships talking about you about to change somebody for the better. It's not happening, kiddo. You're losing while they're gaining. It is no individual's job to save their mate. You need to be 100%, just like they need to be 100%, so that from the fullness of each of you, you can create one fulfilled relationship. So party people, learn this. This podcast exists to behave like an energy charger, raising each of your vibrations to get y'all as close to full as we all can in the hour or so that we run it. Taking the fullness from our connection, the idea is to get y'all out there to connect with folks who are full just like you. That's the self-awareness piece, the high vibration and learning about love piece that we offer directly in the beginning of us. As you interact with people, please keep a keen notice on what their vibes are. Notice if you feel charged up when you're around a person, or if you feel depleted as a result of having interacted with them. That's very important. If you notice more energy suckers around you, refer them to energy charging sources, whether that be good music, whether that be school, whether that be church or the synagogue, wherever people go these days, whatever fills you back up. You can even, refer them to somewhere like this podcast, but only refer them here if they're like real motherfuckers. Like, don't bring the wrong people here, because we don't cater to everybody. Literally, this platform is not for everybody. We do non-corny positivity, and a lot of people who claim positive are corny as fuck. And those are my words of wisdom for today. I wanted to end on that on purpose, because that is a real thing. People will try to give you that positive. And when I say positive and corny, I mean when it's superficial, when it's a gimmick, when people ain't just, cool with it. They got to be too deep. The next thing you know, you asking somebody how they doing, and they say, well, the blue oak from the red charged moon. It's like, okay, I'm cool. I don't even know what the fuck that means. So, before we get out of here, ladies and gents, I know y'all see this hair. Stop acting like you don't. Stop acting like you don't see it. Dave, you got me? Mm-hmm. They see me? Mm-hmm. No, you're not. She gonna say, I'm here. No, you're not, Siri. What Siri was going to tell you before I rudely interrupted her is what everybody already knows, which is the fact that I love the Doux more than you knew. Okay. So I want to, I realize that on all these episodes, I've had my hair braided or straight for, I think, basically all the episodes, sort of a thing. So I wanted to wear my hair curly for you guys. People on YouTube, this totally works for you and you understand it. People who are not on YouTube, pop over and see these popping ass curls. I want to show you the conglomerate. The fucking recipe that I used for my hair today. After having it nice and wet, I put on some We Want Easy. Everybody, come on now, easy. Put your hair in. Then it goes Benita Afrobomb. You gotta put me on, Benita Afrobomb. Yeah, we gotta put me on to the. Today was a good day. That's rad. All three of those had songs to them. 2 of them were members of NWA. Let's just keep it true. Can we do this? And then, of course, you guys know that my homeboy is Ali Shaheed Muhammad from Tribe. So Benita Afrobomb, shouts out. So Instagram at ILOVETHEDOUX. I love the Doux more than you knew. Yeah. Covered the entire time. I just noticed. Stimulated minds, don't kill me. But I was wearing your shirt this entire time, and I just realized it covered the whole. We love you, Stimulated Minds. There that goes. But Stimulated Minds on Instagram is at stimulatedminds.co. stimulatedminds.co. And man, I appreciate you for always giving me these dope shirts. I think my assistant wore one the other day, like at the college, right? Yeah, so we be wearing it at the college, at Pasadena City College's Ujima program, you know, just giving y'all props over there and such. Also, 1500 Sound Academy. I've been doing a lot of plugging for my teachings there and my involvement there, but just peruse over to what we doing over at 1500 Sound Academy at 1500 Sound Academy on Instagram, and just pop over. We always have little stuff going on, whether it be workshops, whether it be certain events and things like that. Just check in with us, you know, DM the account and say, hey, I learned about you on Wyann's podcast, Raise It Up Y, and just wanted to say hey and let you guys, you know, just leave a message. I think that would be nice for them, because why not do something nice for people? The fuck? So, also, last but not least, WyannVaughn.com, where you can get the brilliant Write Out the book. Write out the book. How do I say write out in Amharic? Right. Mus'af. Okay, get that tatted on you. Mus'af. You know what I'm saying? Mazel tov at the same time. Shit, why not? We here, so let's do it. The Write Out book is available. Please hit the team. We will be getting you a copy signed with some little insignia. Also, I wanted to make sure that I let you guys know about the fact that I do provide professional mentoring services. People DM me about the most random stuff, and it's been helpful for some people who either want to take on several sessions with me and or just an a la carte team kind of a session, a one-off. Sometimes it's about their own music, sometimes about themselves creating within the music and just some personal advice and things like that. I have a busy ass schedule, and I, you know, I'm not saying that because we all don't have busy schedules, but I'm saying hit me, and you know, with the service, if that becomes, if I see someone hit me via the service, then I'm very much sure to prioritize whatever we got going. And you can ask the rates right there at the Raise It Up Y page, RAISEITUPWY. Dates, the only date I'm concerned with right now is December 13th. The 13th of December. It was the 13th of December. That day I'm gonna remember. Okay, yeah, but that's when my EP, the Wyann EP, comes out. I think the next episode I'm gonna give you guys the think tank behind it, because it'll be just a couple weeks before it's about to come out. So we'll probably go into the mindset of the Not Yet album before then. I'm just doing cool stuff because my assistant is like taping me, so I don't want it to be like mundane. Hey, guys, you guys are amazing. I appreciate all of you for always rocking with us. You've been a great support, and I've been getting great feedback from the words of wisdom, the high whys, and everything else that we do here. Thank you for tuning in on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube, and wherever else you might find us. Please send us love, give us feedback. Until we see you next time, last Thursday of November, I say, stay real, y'all. Dear Maya, Mrs. Sajadier in the 11th grade compared my poetry to yours, and soon after became my favorite teacher. Now, I don't know that her recognition of my works with yours helped her become the apex of my educational attachments. However, I can't say that it hurt the odds either. I write to you freely, noting that your work freed me at an early age. I took down stages wearing the crowns you wrote. After memorizing Sojourner, your words I spoke to earn acclaim in many arenas. Hell, upon learning of you going, childhood friends had hit me up, recalling what a phenomenal woman I was because of you. And to this day, I still rise because your words could. At 13, man, I was good because of you. I wish you could have seen me. Having had visions of us being on TV, you telling me, little girl, you wanna be me, and my pigtails would wag as I nodded. My noggin decorated in pretty gritting teeth and squinted eyes, trying to hide my anxiety as disguised surprise. Peeking at you, admiring the creases of your smile that never ceased to keep me awestruck. I wanted to be Janet or Pac, 'cause they got to do your poetry justice. I know this poem isn't enough, 'cause there are only so many bars left in this song. And I still have feelings that I could write for a star's length long. Each word could be a song, 'cause I write sonically. I want to chirp the crippled hurt that the naughty bird would sing from my room. But now, you know his tune, my bard. Now you know freedom. You know the flight of the souls that have ascended to the kingdom. Sage bird, rest. Rest and may peace come. To those who love you most, consider me a grateful leech missing her host. May I do the craft justice as you did, sweet sage. Please excuse me. I return to my cage. You are missed.